So about a day ago, Zeta uploaded a video about like Goku versus the Relevancy League. Yes, I've heard about the Relevancy League. I've saw a lot of like slander against it, and I know the members of the Relevancy League. Examples include Rimuru, Featherine, and like Madoka Magica. And yes, most of the time, like these like characters are pitted against Goku. But however, instead of like doing like the usual matchup of Goku, I plan to like use someone use a Trevor Henderson character. But however, it's not gonna be Cartoon Cat this time because like he's been overused in my channel, and it's not gonna be like Friends from Void Plains because man, that's like slaughters. That's slaughter. But however, I saw a lot of like Zeta use like Goku, like the main figure of Dragon Ball, so why not I use the main figure of Trevor Henderson, Siren Head himself. And yes, because I also want to like give recognition to other characters. Yesterday, I'm like pitting Siren Head against the Revolutionary League. I mean the Relevancy League, where they get winked to outer verse or above it, and they don't have that good writing, and they're meant to like, oh, we solo Goku. And something I saw is that they're all hacks merchants. Yes, these are some of the hacks that the Relevancy League uses. But however, the main problem is like someone just like Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, Long Horse, the Lamb, yada 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 has a lot of like resistance against these hexes. The first example being like spatial and like temporal hexes. Like this is like doing nothing to someone like Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, or blah blah blah, because like they scale like tiers such as outerversal or above. And even so, like basically most of these hexes won't work on someone who scales above you. This has been happened in fiction, I mean multiple times. And another thing I want to point out is that they also have a resistance against transmutation. Yes, they have like resistance against the Trevor Henderson Earth effects. About that like that Earth effect, like that like mutates like living beings into like malevolent like mutated things, such as like examples include like humanoid rabbit, ribbit, humanoid owl, smiling owls, and the cow eater. And yeah, one like the weakest like patron saints, such as like the chicken ghost and Big Charlie, can like resist these effects, which is like fucking crazy. This is how crazy like hacks resistances in Trevor Henderson can get. Another thing I could like hear from them is that like the Relevancy League characters are immortal. But however, that's not a win condition, as the fact that like they're already like plenty of like Trevor Henderson characters that have like their own immortalities, and also like due to the fact that like some of them are stronger than the other, and they have the ability to like negate the immortality of like the weaker characters. So this isn't a win condition. And another thing I wanted to point out is that in versus battles, you do not have to kill the character in order to like beat them. And the last hacks I'm gonna hear from them is that they can like warp reality or warp dimensions. Come on, bro, this is so easy for Siren Head. Like, this is an average feat that like the average Trevor Henderson character can do. Literally, like some of the Trevor Henderson characters that aren't even from the void can like manipulate like spaces and like distort time or even stop time itself. Siren Head is like comparable or above the Lamb, who can like reverse gravity with its mere presence. Like Siren Head also like scales to the Long Horse, who like is like accumulation above like the dimensional errors. But before the video starts, I'll use like the Twitter, the Instagram, the Tumblr, and like basically all these like like accounts, like these account cannons to like scale Siren Head into Trevor Henderson verse. Before I go on to the Relevancy League, start off with Siren Head. The most obvious thing I'm gonna like tackle that like many people nowadays misrepresent about Siren Head. I've been calling this out multiple times, and so do like many Trevor Henderson power scalers, is that people still cap it at tiers such as multi-city block and town level. Yes, many Trevor Henderson power scalers, including me, has been like calling this argument out. Siren is like stated to be like time paradox entity that like exists in the past, the present, and future all at the same time. And let's not forget the fact that Siren is a tulpa, which is like a material, is like something that they form like through like spiritual practice. If he was truly town level, none of these scans would be present. And let's now go on to like Siren Head's part. Like Siren Head's like stated to be like the patron saint of like blah blah blah. Like I'm not reading all of these, and these also like again stated to be a tulpa, which like all make him outerversal. Siren Head also like came from the void, which is like beyond any like notion of space and time, and beyond the concept of dimensionality as well as being beyond any duality such as life and death, which also counts as outerversal. As backed up by the fact that like mathematics is irrelevant to the void. In conclusion, I have Siren Head's base format outerversal. Well, I didn't talk about his true form for now, so. And come on, it's obvious. If your existence is low outerversal or above, you have irrelevant speed. Now that I've got like Siren Head scaling out of the way, let's like move on to like the Relevancy League. And yes, I forgot to mention about the fact that like I'll prove like why the Relevancy League gets bitched by Siren Head no difficulty. The first member of the Relevancy League I'll be talking about is like Madoka Magica. The first argument I'm gonna like sense that Madoka Magica is like a concept. First off, being like a concept without any context scales nowhere. Like you need to prove that concept is abstract, conceptual, and / or spiritual, or else like that wouldn't scale anywhere. And yes, I already said that earlier. Siren Head's a concept due to the fact he's a tulpa. However, I provided context for what I said, so that wouldn't like be similar to like this stuff right here. And even then, Siren Head's already like interactive, like conceptual, abstract, and like spiritual beings himself. One example being is the long horse, the patron saint, or the conceptual embodiment, I should say, of like those stuff mentioned, since I don't feel like reading right now. So, and to further back this up, like, they both came from the void, which is like a conceptual and like abstract like realm of reality that's like beyond any like dimensional or like spatial axes. So this was have to like support these two as like being like the patron saint of those like abstract or conceptual stuff. People would try to say that like Madoka Magica is like omnipresent, I mean. However, that like scales nowhere, first off, without any context. And even so, we have plenty of like omnipresent characters in the Trevor Henderson verse, and yet Siren is able to interact with them via like both of them like existing in the void. Damn. Wait, not just in the void, but also the narrative player too. And another argument I'll hear from like Madoka Magica fans is that she's a god, however, being a god scales nowhere. And even so, does that mean that God of Chickens and God of Roadkills are now equal to Madoka now? Like, the fuck? Yeah, Siren Head soul is negative. Someone please call child services protection, please. The next character I'll be talking about is like Akuto Sai. Yes, most of his feats like mainly came from the cosmology. And thing I found funny is that like the size of the universe in this verse is like the size of a solar system. And something I saw that was like people would try to like get him to like 4D because of this, but however, if you read it closely, they're just like calling it, meaning it's not actually 4D. It's just like people calling it. It's not like a real like fourth dimensional, like 4 spatial dimensions. It's just people naming something. And another thing I would see is that like Akuto Sai generate infinite possibilities. But if you read closely, it says near infinite, not infinite, and everyone by now should know that there's no between in like finite and infinite, meaning that his possibilities are still finite. This is gonna be supported by the fact that the space in the characters like Akuto Sai makes are finite. So Akuto Sai would be like solar system, yeah, Siren Head stomps negative. And the next character we will be talking about in the Relevancy League is Ino's Voldigoad. Like, something I saw about this is that they were like one of his like greatest, if not like the greatest arsenal of him is like the sword. Like, I don't know the name anyways, but it's not like I give a fuck. So basically this sword like takes 5 minutes, like, and it only like works around, if I can remember correctly, it's like a castle or mansion or something. Like people try to like use like this argument like like that like he could like erase principles and concepts I mean with that sword. But there's a problem with this argument. If it's true, then why doesn't he erase the fucking constant of time, and that he like doesn't like use it to erase the 5-minute shit? And also, like, if it could actually erase anything, then like if he was like were to put it something that cannot be erased, there would be like a contradiction, as both like fall under the no limits fallacy. It'll be more likely that like he's like when it says that he could like erase like principles, it only mean like the stuff that like it's in his world. And apparently like there's like something called the 7 C's that will like 99 layers, like has like dimensional shit that somehow like gets almost a hyperversal. But however, yes, it does mention dimensionality, but if you read it closer, it doesn't have any like spatial dimensional relationship between these two. It only says that like the world is deeper and stronger. Because like the lamp is metaphysical, and yes, it's outerversal, and yet like Forgotten Baby and like Hey Stop a Minute are like malevolent, and yet they're pataphysical, and yet Trevor Henderson like states that like they're like malevolent characters in verse are pataphysical, and yet like meaning like Forgotten Baby and like Hey Stop a Minute are ontologically superior to the lamp. Does that mean these two are high outerversal now? Absolutely fucking not. They don't have the credibility for it. However, like the ones that gain credibility are like called like these like pataphysical stuff like Cartoon Cat and the man with the upside down face. I always start off with Cartoon Cat first, like he isn't just labeled that, he also like gained credibility from it, such as him like able to like affect the narrative layers, like which like literally like reveals like the like anything we see in Trevor Henderson that's fiction, and that includes meaning that it, like what he does is like literally like concedes like comes to the conclusion of him being pataphysical. I know you see this scan of him saying like that he's like the most malevolent in his verse, right? And yet another scan it says that he's like the strongest in his verse. So yes, it's safe to come to the conclusion that Cartoon Cat is superior to the lamp and the other metaphysical things in this. And next is the man with the upside down face. In one of his posts, is like stated that he's like comparable to like Cartoon Cat in the pain scale. Unlike with Forgotten Baby's case, and like unlike with like Hey Stop a Minute's case, the Cartoon Cat and the man with the upside down face like shown like able to like directly like, interact with the lamp, long horse, Siren Head, yada yada yada, and the void. So yes, it's safe to come to the conclusion that. And yes, I bet that Enos doesn't have like the credibility to affect the 99 layers, as like I highly doubt that he doesn't have like some like the shit to like affect it. It only means that like that like the what's like yeah, the 99 layers like could exist with like Enos. It doesn't mean that he can like dimensionally affect it. So the next character in this list will be Call Me Tenchi. Like, I just found this one skin, and bruh, he's like a runaway owl victim. This skin right here is like saying that like the fans are faking the skin. It's like, damn! And the next series will be like, the next character in the Relevancy League will be Featherine Augutus Aurora from like the Umineko series. Yes, I can now finally pronounce these both words, so. However, I've like heard stuff that like, her scans and alongside the verse 2 might be fake, so I'm also not behind this one. It's like Zeta who like asked for it, so like if anyone who actually knows what they're talking about, they can like go to the Bleed server. I'm not the one that said this again. But however, to debunk like the claims that I know that win conflict for her, like I heard that like there's an argument that will make her win because like she like just like erase Siren Head from the plot. But that's realistically not gonna happen because like that would entail that like versus battles have a plot, which it doesn't. And another thing I will find is that like she could use fate manipulation, and no, it's not gonna work too because like fate determines like what happens to a character, and plus that hacks when like works within like a character's verse, like a world or universe. And plus that this battle isn't taking place on the Umineko verse nor the Trevor Henderson verse, so no, these two dog shit hacks won't work here. However, something I found like here is that like it's like say that you could like something is like a physical human that she wrote the whole story, so therefore everyone would be 2D. But however, I'm not 100% using this to. I don't think it's false, but however, even with this disregard like the human level and 2D debunk, like it's gonna like be like capped at like complex multiversal via this video, so I might be linked in the description. The next character like I'll be discussing this video is like Hajun. Something I found out about him, like it's that he had like a tumor. And something I heard about his face is that they think he's from like Dire Rays, like a visual novel. Where he isn't from Dire Rays, he's from like another like verse like connected to Dire Rays. So yeah, they're likely LARPing. I don't know, like I don't have anything against him, so if I'm gonna be honest here, like, he might be the only character in the Relevancy League that might stand a chance against Siren Head. Like one of my like friends like scale him, so he might be the only one to answer. Yeah, the rest are getting obliterated. And finally, the head of the Relevancy League, Rimuru Tempest. Something I found about him is that like that gets him above get him to like high hyperversals, the Labyrinth. Yes, the Labyrinth. Nighttime is able to like affect the Labyrinth. If it's truly high hyperversal or truly infinite dimensional, then like daytime and nighttime wouldn't exist. And yes, Yellow will never prove that like that's narrative progression. And yes, it's been stated multiple times that the Labyrinth is embedded upon the fucking planet. And yes, the planet is third dimensional too, so no. Are we gonna say that that third dimensional planet is now like fucking high hyperversal now? In God's sake! Now that we've got their scaling out of the way, now it's like for like the final verdict. It's like a 7v1, like the Relevancy League versus Siren Head himself. So Enos is trying to like pull that goofy sword shit against Siren Head, but it's not gonna work. Siren Head speed blitzes into decapitates that MF. Well, Enos will try to come back, but Siren Head's gonna throw him to the void. For Rimuru Tempest, like Siren Head's gonna like him to like the narrative layers. And for Akuto Sai, well, he will get his head blown from like Siren Head's like presence, like with its like sirens. For Featherine, Siren Head will first find this, and yeah, she's cooked. Like Siren Head will like do like a fade to her that's worse than death. For Hajun, well, he has the tumor. Well, I don't know the rest of him. Nah, he's good. And I have a friend who scales him, so... In conclusion, Siren Head stops negative difficulty. That's just a Relevancy League right now.